Good morning, everybody. This is the Cindy Cochran Show. Boy, it is such a great day because it's all over with. But the shouting and the analyzing and all that, and that's what everybody's going to be doing, is they're going to be analyzing all day. That's, I don't know how much sleep you guys got, but you know how interested I am in all of that. So I've gotten an hour's worth of sleep. But I have someone here with me that's had 2 more hours than I had, so I hope he can carry me through. I'm really loud. And so I hope I'm not too loud for you. Well, I didn't even see that. Okay. Anyway, okay, guys, what a day, what a day, what a day. And what a day to be on the Cindy Cochran Show, because I have with me as my special guest Dr. Wally Wilkerson, the one and only, really, the one and only, because this guy is the chairman of the Montgomery County Republican Party, and boy, are they partying all over, I am sure. But, you know, Dr. Wally's not somebody that will gloat. He's just happy that everybody went out to vote, and that he wants your voice to be heard, and then we have to accept whatever voice is louder, and then, okay, because the people have spoken. And boy, they spoke out loud last night. And the funnest thing about all this, if you've been watching, probably not like I have, but I've been watching it day and night from the very beginning of this whole thing. I can remember like when Donald Trump came down the escalator, just those days. And then I was listening on the radio as he's announcing what he's going to be. And everybody's laughing at this guy. And they all laughed. And I saw the first primary debate. And I turned to my husband and I said, he's going to win. He said, he's going to win what? I said, he's going to win. That guy's going to win. And he goes, you are crazy. There's no way he's going to win. I'm telling you, he's going to win. And so he would laugh at me and he'd say, I think Donald Trump's going to win. And just laugh and laugh. And he said, there's no way that's going to happen. But you know what? Now, he fell asleep last night, so I haven't gotten to go na-na-na-na to him yet. But, and say, I never lost any kind, there was no doubt in my mind that this guy was going to win. Whether I was for him or against him, it didn't matter. This guy was going to win because I felt like the entertainment skill he had, the entertainer skill, the star power skill, he was a star in movies, and he was like a real, larger than life, and he had the reality show and all that. That was going to mean so much. And my husband said that will get him, people will go away in droves not to be near this guy because of all the things he's been involved in. And I said, what are you talking about? He's this reality show. He's so egotistical. He's not going to be drawn. People aren't going to be drawn to him. I said, I'm telling you, he's going to do it. So now I have the respect of my husband for calling it. I know. Because he's going to have to moonwalk a lot of stuff that he said.
Finally, you got the respect from your husband.
I know, I couldn't do it for
anything
else. But he made fun of me through this whole process that I didn't know what I was talking about. And last night, he goes over to his man cave, the barn man cave, and watches that. And I didn't want to watch it with anybody. I wanted to be by myself to watch this. I didn't want to be bothered. And the grandchildren, I told them, I made you a great dinner. You eat that dinner, you go in and you play, the Xbox games and all that. But do not come talk to me, okay? They're like, okay, Grandma, okay. I had every TV on in the house, in every room, and even the bathroom, so that I wouldn't miss anything. And, and it was either that or it depends. But I decided I had TVs everywhere. So I went into each room and I never missed a beat. But I was going through all the channels. I did not just stay on one channel like only Fox or anything like that. I wanted to hear what everybody was saying. And it was so much fun to watch this and know he was going to win and that they were going to have such eggs on their face. And one guy said today, he says, I have never been so wrong in my whole life. He was a pollster. And he said, I don't have eggs on my face. I have omelets on my face. This is so bad. This is so bad. And so when that time came and they had to call it, they kept putting it off. Podesta comes out with all the Clinton followers, standing there wanting to hear something from her. And they're all excited. She'd canceled the fireworks before, and that kind of scared everybody. Why would she do that? And so they must have known something. But they were all waiting out there, so excited. And he came out and said, go home. We'll talk about it in the morning. Just go home, and we'll wait for all the votes to be counted. So that was I can't remember what time that was, about 3:30, something like that. Anyway, but he came out and did that. And then they're waiting for Donald Trump to come out and say something. But she calls Donald Trump and does a concession thing. And so when he comes out and talks to his crowd, they go crazy. And there it is. And everybody has to accept it. But those anchor people, they had all these big, round tables of people there to talk about it and to say what they thought was going to happen to Donald Trump and what was, what Hillary was going to bring to the country and all that. But it was the looks on their faces and their trying to think of something to say that would make sense was just the most fun I ever had in my life. And I just kept laughing because these people were so sure of themselves. And so, because it was such a testament to the media as well. But everybody was talking about, how could we have been so wrong? How could we have not seen this coming? And it's not that Trump wasn't having all these rallies with 25,000, 30,000 people. And when you looked at the comparison and the excitement and all that stuff in Clinton's, the press, no one was recognizing anything. So it was so much fun for me. I love it. And so with me is someone who has just a little more experience than I've had, just a little bit about these things. And I felt, in fact, we credit Dr. Wally Wilkerson with flipping Texas from Democrat to Republican. He's credited with that. And what's interesting is that he was a baby doctor, and he decided he gave up his practice and he gave his life to getting this country where he felt like the principles and all from the Republican Party is what Texas needed. And here we are now. And it's just, he's someone that has been a great force. And if you're a Democrat, you may go like, I don't care. That's not what I care about. And in fact, if he did all that, I don't like that guy. Well, listen, it's a hard work that he did. And what a great guy he is. And he's so sweet, so kind. He's so much kinder than I am. And that's why I need to be around him more. But Dr. Wally Wilkerson is with us, and I want to say good morning, Dr. Wally.
Good morning.
How are you feeling this morning?
Well, I'm feeling elated and thankful and proud. I guess we can say all three.
Yeah.
Equally.
I walked over to the Republican headquarters just to see if I could get a hold of him and bring him in, because I thought it'd be interesting to hear his angle, his analysis of the debate. And not debate, the election, and to see what he would say. Because I walked in there and we both, were saying, you always say he's going to win. It's going to be this, but Dr. Wilkerson said, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. And that's what a lot of the people were saying. It's just too close to call, right, Doctor?
That is correct.
And what were you had two guys sitting there at the table. And what were their names? The ones that were at the table yesterday when I came in, and they were saying.
Gee, I don't even remember. So many people come into our headquarters. It's been a real experience for us to talk to so many of the people that had a great respect for Mr. Trump and who were committed to him in so many ways.
Mm-hmm. And kept coming and putting their signs in the yard and kept coming and getting another.
We don't have any more signs. We sold or gave away the last one late yesterday afternoon.
Oh, man.
I haven't counted up, but we probably distributed more than 2,000 yard signs. Unfortunately, a lot of them disappeared for whatever reason, but it appeared to me like there was some kind of organized effort to do it. But I'm not going to accuse anybody of something.
It could be they wanted, a keepsake. Maybe something like that.
Maybe so. One way to look at it.
The woman that had a camera out in the front yard, and she looked at the tape, and it was her neighbor across the street.
Right.
That must be disturbing. That must be difficult to, let's all come back together and bond, knowing that you came over my yard and, were tearing up my signs. But he said he was just sick and tired of seeing the Trump-Pence sign, and he just wanted to get rid of it. But it's going to be interesting today, don't you think, to see how well the Republicans handle the win and be gracious and be, want to be not gloating about it, right?
Well, we've had a lot of experience on the opposite side. So, yes, I agree with you. It's not a time to do that. And I'm proud of what we accomplished in this county. Our friends in Harris County didn't fare quite so well.
Right.
And that's one of the things that I've been preaching to our workers and all the people that are helping us in our party effort, that Montgomery County is capable of picking up some of that slack that Harris County needs in order to get over the top. So we're still working toward that goal, and we increased our vote totals significantly in this election.
Well, as you look at the national level, how many people came out of the woodwork and from, they crossed over party lines, or they just for the first time voted, younger people, came to vote, and it was amazing. They talk about Hillary wanting to, crack the glass ceiling and all. In fact, they had a glass ceiling ready for her to crack when she came, and didn't happen. But that he punched through the blue walls is what they were saying last night. So that was exciting.
It was, and back in June when Mr. Trump came to the Woodlands, I closely observed these supporters of his, and it was pretty easy to recognize the energy and the commitment that they had to him.
Right.
And so that only built as time went on, and we saw it every day in our headquarters. We had one gentleman came in there in the last week before the election, and he wanted us to see his pictures of the Trump Tower. And I said, what did you do? Were you on business? He said, no. I rode my motorcycle all the way to New York.
Oh, my word.
And went to the Trump Tower, and he took these pictures of the inside of the Trump Tower. And I mean, that was just one example of the kind of commitment that these people exhibited. It's really remarkable and a tribute to Mr. Trump's ability to understand their concerns and speak to them.
Well, it was so interesting to listen to people that had gone to the rallies, that had lived through the rallies, and they would talk about how many hours they stood in line, how many hours they stood there on the concrete, the floor of whatever, the stadium or whatever they were, wherever they were, waiting to see him. And that you looked around and the looks on people's faces, and they would stand there. Nobody was complaining about how long they had to stand in line, how long they had to stand there. They waited. He got there and he came out and did his thing, and then had to go back and get in the traffic and then to go home. And so people were saying, and you don't think these people are going to go vote? Because a lot of the pundits would say, these people, are they votes? Are they just there, just to be there? But will they vote? And this guy that had been through it said, you can't say that. These people go through all this hell, and here they are. They're going to vote. They will vote. They will be there. And he was right.
Well, toward the end of the campaign, it was pretty obvious that, to me at least, and I think to most observers, that the crowds that Ms. Clinton attracted were primarily due to the fact that you had some entertainers there and not just to come see or hear her. Whereas, to Mr. Trump's credit, he had his last rally was at 1:30 in the morning, Texas time, and they had people walk as far as 2 miles away to get to the auditorium, and you don't manufacture that kind of commitment and energy in a political campaign without having some dynamic person at the top.
Right, and I think they think that may have, that didn't help her. It kind of like it kind of blew up in her face because all those people that she had out there, when she would come out and speak, there was such a drop in energy, and also it wasn't really a great thing they thought for her to do. But Donald kept saying, "I'm all by myself. I'm the only one here. I'm the one. I'm doing this all by myself. I don't need the piano. I don't need." And he was right.
I think we saw a good example, and it doesn't happen very often, at least in my experience, of a candidate for a high office such as the president mature and become such a competent and effective campaigner as what I observed during the last 2 or 3 weeks of the campaign. I think he really resonated with these people, and he said things that they were concerned about. And I don't think they were necessarily Republicans, but what we've always stressed here in Montgomery County, you don't have to call yourself a Republican. All we wanted you to vote for our candidate.
That's right. You don't have to title yourself. Right. That's right. Listen, we got to take a break, Dr. Wally. We'll be right back because I want to compare Donald Trump's campaign with the Little Red Hen story. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Cindy Cochran Show, Real Reality Radio.
The Cindy Cochran Show, the first daily talk show serving Montgomery County.
Cole Porter's inspired classic Anything Goes is approaching fast with CYT Houston. The age-old tale of boy meets girl with all the hilarious complications that come with it is hitting the stage from November 10th through November 12th at the Crichton Theater in downtown Conroe. To purchase passage online, just visit cythouston.org, or you can purchase tickets at the box office. Don't miss the tapping, the dancing, and the singing with Anything Goes by CYT Houston this November at the Crichton Theater. Again, visit them online at cythouston.org for more information.
Want to check out the fastest growing sport in the world? It's right here in Conroe, Texas, and it's roller derby. Conroe Roller Derby is a non-profit recreational league of women and men who want you to come and check out the fast-paced, hard-hitting game of roller derby. The Conroe Cutthroats practice at Rainbow Roller Rink on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. You can find our game schedule and more information on our website, www.conroerollerderby.com.
The Cindy Cochran Show. You ain't heard nothing yet.
We're back on the Cindy Cochran Show. Thank you so much for listening. Now, I have a I have a Facebook page, and it's the Cindy Cochran Show. Cochran, Cochran. If you go to that and click on messages, then you can ask Ms. Dr. Wally any question you'd like to ask him, or myself, or you have a suggestion, and just make it clean. We'll be glad to listen to it, and I'll talk about it on the show. Okay, so anyway, we also, I got to tell everybody that, man, we're coming in loud and clear on 104.5 and 106.1. That's the Conroe FM stations that we're in the Montgomery County area, and we drift out. We don't know how far really at night, even how we drift out, because the radio signals will do that. I'll pick up Dallas signals all the time, or even it was a Tennessee signal. I'm like, where'd that come from? So you never know. But we are live on FM radios now, and it's so exciting. And soon to be television, Dr. Wally, we're going to be able, your friends, you're going to be on the show, and then you tell them you're going to be on Channel 12 Suddenlink here in this area. and we're going to be,
Wonderful.
yeah. Can you believe that?
Congratulations.
I know, but now I'm going to have to start wearing better clothes and makeup and everything. I only had 1 hour sleep.
Got to be photogenic.
Got to be photogenic, at least
Yeah.
a profile of it.
Yeah.
If maybe I could I'll get a cutout or something and put it right there.
Yeah.
And
Well, we
I'll
have
always
the
look
Trump
good.
cutout in the headquarters if you want to use it.
Do you really?
It's been very popular. Almost
Bad.
everyone that comes in there wants to have their picture made.
That's
Yeah,
great.
so it's been quite an attraction.
I love it. Well, I said I wanted to compare the campaign and his winning with the Little Red Hen story. Do you remember that story?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Richard remembers it, but the Little Red Hen who was going to wanted to bake bread, and asked the different animals to help her, and went to her friends, and nobody would help her, so she had to start making it all by herself. And she would ask people, "Sure you want to come help?" No. And so all of a sudden she says, "I got to do it by myself." So she did it all by herself. She put it in the oven, and it started baking, and the aroma was out there. And then all these friends who wouldn't come and help her start coming around and going like, "Hey, can we have some of that bread?" And she was very sweet, very kind, and shared. But that's what it seems like. People ran from Trump and even his own party. It was so pitiful. And he got a call from one of his friends this morning to congratulate him. And he said, "You know what? Nobody believed in me except just a few people that were really close to me, my family. And that was it. But, I felt so alone in this whole thing and didn't know how I was going to get through it, but I got through it." And I think that now they're coming and they want some of the bread. They want to break bread with him now. So I'm just thinking, how much he seemed to, all through the campaign, he loved to get back at somebody who attacks him first. And I think he's outgrown that. I think it was such an humbling experience last night that he even, said that former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton had put up a hard fight, and that she has been in this, in the political scene for so long that I just want to tell her how much I appreciate her service to this country. Now, he had to choke that out probably because of what he said all up to that point. But that was a good thing for him to say. And for her to call and be gracious about that is great, because we haven't had that history. It's like when Al Gore, was going to concede, and then they hold him back. They were all up there ready to get, some of them.
There was a lot of confusion about
Yes.
that sort of thing. I agree with you. I have a real sense of sadness for Hillary Clinton. I've been on that side many, many times, and I know how she feels. And, we wish her well in whatever endeavor she's going to be involved in. And I appreciate her calling President-elect Trump.
Right.
And I think I heard on the TV this morning that he's going to meet with Obama.
Tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow.
I think tomorrow. And so that's the way it should be.
Yes.
And you mentioned those people that ran from him and criticized him, Republicans, and brings to my mind many in the Bush family who I've known for years, and I supported and worked for.
Yeah.
And tried to do everything I could to help get them elected. And I was really disappointed in their response. I don't expect them to have gone to the convention or got out and campaigned for Mr. Trump if they didn't feel so inclined, but they could have just made fewer comments and stayed pretty much silent about it. But
right.
Some of them didn't, and unfortunately, I think the Bush name is taking a pretty hard lick.
I agree. I think that him signing that and was absolutely telling Donald Trump that how horrible he was for saying he wouldn't sign the pledge to support the candidate who rose from all the 17 people. and that was like so terrible because the honor of that was there, and he wouldn't do it. And others that felt like, they don't have to support him. And Kasich, wow, Kasich, you got your comeuppance when Donald Trump won Ohio. And
I didn't see it, but and I'm glad I didn't. But a number of people said they saw Barbara Bush on television on, I believe, the day before election, saying something to the effect that she couldn't understand how any woman could vote for Donald Trump.
Oh my!
And I think that was uncalled for.
Yeah.
But, as I said, I've talked to too many people, and a lot of people, and people have lost a lot of respect, unfortunately, for the Bush name.
I agree, and I think that the thing about the woman card was, I'm so proud of this country for not falling for it, and because, if Hillary would have had the character, had the response to how to help this country and all that, and it didn't have so much baggage behind her, I would love to have a woman. President.
Sure.
I think we're ready. I think we're well ready for a woman president, but it wasn't this woman, and for her to keep claiming that, and like whatever Barbara Bush said, Hillary had someone standing, introducing her and saying that there's a special place in hell for any woman that does not vote for Hillary Clinton. Oh my word! I bet you that just snapped with God.
Well,
Thinking, why would you interject that?
A lot of unfortunate things have been said in every presidential campaign, and that's why anybody that's going to get in that arena, you got to have a thick skin, and you got to understand that things are going to be said.
Right.
And if you take them all real personal, like you're not going to do very well.
No, you won't get a lot done if you do that. So he's his phone was taken away from him. No more twittering at 3 a.m.
I wanted to say something about, because I noticed in the Courier this morning, one of our local office holders was being very critical of our elections staff. And I want to just say to every person who worked in this election as a clerk or in whatever capacity you worked, we couldn't thank you more for your service. It is a difficult job. It is a very tiresome job, but everybody performed as well as we could expect. And the reason for the lateness of our local reports were, of course, disturbing. Everybody wanted to know how some of the local races had come out as quickly as possible. But there were hundreds and hundreds of mail ballots dumped at the last minute in the elections office, and all of those ballots have to be, especially if they're overseas ballots, they have to be transferred to the type of ballot that you can count on the scanning machine.
Now, before you go further, because that's exactly what I want to talk about after this break. I want to talk about the mechanics of all that.
Sure.
And so we will be right back with Dr. Wally Wilkerson. He is the chairman of the Republican Party here in Montgomery County. You're listening to Cindy Cochran Show. Don't go away, because this is real reality radio.
The Cindy Cochran Show, real reality radio.
Have a legal question? Are you a resident of Montgomery County? Call 281-645-6344 to talk to a volunteer attorney from the Woodlands Bar Association. We answer the phones on the first Monday of every month at 281-645-6344 from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. to provide general legal information and information about legal resources to Montgomery County residents.
You're listening to Lone Star Community Radio on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1. It is 10:30. We're going to do a quick weather and traffic break, then get back to our talk block with the Cindy Cochran Show. Right now it is overcast of 66 degrees, humidity around 87%. Today's weather forecast, a 20% chance of showers or drizzle before noon, mostly cloudy with a high of 75 and a low around 55. Traffic conditions in the Montgomery County area, northbound and southbound on I-45. You look good to go all the way through the Woodlands up to Willis and all the way to Spring. East to west on 105, I don't see any accidents or incidences being reported. 1488, 242, the Loop, 336, and 1097 are clear. You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio with the Cindy Cochran Show. We'll get back to it right after these messages.
At Jazzy Junk, volunteers reclaim, restore, and recycle. Jazzy Junk is a non-profit resale storefront where you will discover wonderful, unique finds at very affordable prices on furniture, antiques, books, art, home decor, and more. When you shop Jazzy Junk, you support New Danville, a community for adults with developmental disabilities. We receive new donations daily, so plan a visit to Jazzy Junk today to find that perfect item or gift. Our motto is here today, gone today. So remember to hurry in and shop often for the best selection. Jazzy Junk is located in the outlets at Conroe on League Line Road and I-45 North. Call 936-441-4500 or visit our website, jazzyjunk.org. That's JUNQUE for more information and store hours.
An estimated 1 in 10 births will result in a neonatal intensive care stay, also known as the NICU. Overnight, a family can find themselves and their newborn baby in a critical situation. The Mila Foundation financially and spiritually assists families in need. If you would like to volunteer or become a monthly sponsor, please visit us at www.themilafoundation.org. Again, that's www.themilafoundation.org, because every life matters.
The Cindy Cochran Show, the first daily talk show serving Montgomery County.
And we're back on the Cindy Cochran Show. If you've just joined us, you can always catch the beginning of the show on let's see, there's YouTube and there's SoundCloud, and I have my own channel there on YouTube. So if you subscribe, that would be great. But if you miss anything, the shows are podcasts there. And I would really appreciate it if we've got a lot of shows that we've done in the last 2 weeks, good shows and really interesting people on there. And we've got, I want to remind everybody that tomorrow we have Bob Smiley coming on. And Bob Smiley's been brought in to kind of break up this serious stuff we've been having to talk about and just forever and ever. He's a worldwide beloved Christian comedian. He's so great. Everybody loves Bob Smiley. And you can go to his bobsmiley.com and get a sense of him before he even gets here tomorrow. But he will be here tomorrow at 10 a.m. And I hope you don't miss that one because he was supposed to be on like a week ago. He got sick and couldn't come on. And I know people thought I was just using his name trying to draw people in, but that's not true. I love Bob Smiley. I see him all the time. So I got to tell you, he's a great guy. And he will be here tomorrow. Don't miss that. Now to get back to a question that I had for Dr. Wally Wilkerson, my guest today. He's the chairman of the Montgomery County Republican Party. And they have been certainly partying over there, trying to keep it down over there. No dancing on the tables or anything like that. They're trying to be very conservative because that's what they are and who they are. But anyway, Dr. Wally, I wanted to know about, you just started explaining how much time your volunteers have to put in, and when you have these absentee ballots all come in at one time, not like people trickling in, or voting like that and counting it, but this is when they all come in at one time. And I was also interested in the military's ballots when they come in. Can you explain how that happens?
Sure. I talked to Susie Harvey, the election administrator, last night when it was obvious that we were kind of late in getting any local returns, and she explained to me that hundreds of ballots that they had not been able to process were suddenly dropped on them last night, even after 7 o'clock. And each of those military ballots, the way person in the military votes is they request a ballot with the form that they get from the military, and then the elections office emails that ballot to them. And then they vote the ballot and email it back. So in order for them to use the counting machines, they have to convert that email into a regular ballot. And that is time consuming And that was the reason why we were so late in getting our election returns, not because of any inefficiency or any wrongdoing or anything like that.
So you're saying they take that ballot, paper ballot, that the military person sends in.
It's an email.
It's an email. Okay, an email, and then they copy that onto the screen voting booth. Is that what
they copy it onto a ballot, like you get if you vote a mail ballot.
Oh, okay. So it stays paper.
And then they can run that through the machine.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, we are indeed fortunate and have been. We've had an election administrator in Montgomery County since 1982. And the Republican Party was instrumental in getting the Commissioners Court to adopt the office of Elections Administrator. Prior to that, under election laws, the county clerk is the chief officer that conducts the election. And our feeling was that we wanted it to be a nonpartisan group who ran the elections, and that's what an election administrator is. They're not Republicans, they're not Democrats.
Well, so did you have at any time last night, did you have where you had to cut off the voting and there were still people waiting? Did you ever run into anything like that?
If anybody is in line waiting to vote at 7 p.m., they will be allowed to vote. If they show up and get in line after 7 p.m., then it's too late. They can't vote.
So you have people standing there waiting to see.
You have people standing in line. If they stand in line at 7 o'clock, they will be allowed to vote.
Well, right before the election, Donald Trump's campaign in, I don't know if it was New York or where it was, but they filed a lawsuit against this polling place because they were letting people come in after the time was up. And they said that was, it's the law. They can't do that. And the judge, threw it out and said he wasn't. And that was all right before. That was happening as the polls were starting to close. They got that information, but they didn't do much with it. It didn't make a big story or anything like that. But I just wondered if you guys had, if people come in late, they're begging, oh, please, I'm sorry, my dog ate my registration thing and I couldn't find it. But there's no excuse, right? Once that's it.
If you get there after 7, you can't vote.
Wow. And we go to 7. Are there different times now? I know that there were 2 counties that extended it to 9:30 or something like that.
A judge can extend it if under circumstances.
Okay. That's what I was going to ask.
But in Texas, the law says the polls are open on Election Day from 7 in the morning till 7 in the evening. Now, during early voting, which is those times can be more flexible, and they're set by the Elections Administrator's office with the approval of the Commissioners Court.
Right.
And so the first week of early voting, it was 8 o'clock to 5 in the afternoon. And then the second week, 7 to 7. We even had times for people to vote on Sunday. So we had, I don't know the exact count of all those extra mail ballots, but we had, I believe she said, Susie said they mailed out 15,000 and it had return of almost 13,000.
Good grief. Wow. That's really good. So did you have?
That's considered as part of early voting.
Well, were they reporting really long lines last night?
Well, during early voting there were, and in some areas there was some waiting in line, but not for a long time.
Mm-hmm. So, when will we get a holiday for voting so that everybody's off work, out of school, and you can go vote?
That would have to be an act of the legislature to create
I thought you were going to say an act of God.
Well,
an act of the legislature to.
The legislator would have to pass a law saying that would be a holiday.
Mm-hmm. And
now,
it would be
there's nothing wrong and some of the businesses in the Woodlands area, and I'm sure elsewhere, they have a special day for their employees to vote early, and they let them off for hours or so where they can go and vote early.
How nice.
And early voting is very, very big in our county. Yesterday, or during the early voting period, and mail ballots amounted to well over 160,000 votes.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that on election day, it'll be less than half of that number that will vote on election day.
Right.
And yesterday, it was under 40,000 people that voted on election day. But there was a total of 205,473 people that voted in the presidential election here in Montgomery County.
Oh, that's wonderful. Because
we have just over 300,000 registered voters.
Because we've had some embarrassing reports sometimes at some of the elections. You go like, why didn't people come out? What's wrong with people? You know, and the weather wasn't bad and all that.
It's hard to understand, but
no.
The people were committed to vote in this election, no question about it.
No, I think, and I do believe that has to do with the Trump effect. I know Hillary Clinton brought anger out in people, and I know there were people that wanted a woman to be president no matter what. They didn't care what she had done or anything like that. They just wanted that woman to be president and have a first there. But I think that's what surprised everybody. They thought that was going to carry it. They thought after the things that Donald Trump said and all that, this guy had it. And how many times we heard, well, that's it for him. It's over. And how many, all through the primaries and everything. And so just, if you haven't gotten to watch or listen to the news today, it's just the most entertaining thing to listen to them.
I watched a little bit of Fox News this morning while I was eating my breakfast at about 7:30. And it's interesting. Our analysis is that these people were committed to Trump, and they were going to vote if they had to crawl to the polls.
That's right. And they had discounted the rural areas in the states, and they came out from everywhere to show
people that had not voted at all, and some who hadn't voted in years.
Right.
And we knew that Mr. Trump was going to attract a lot of people like that, but we were uncertain that it would be in the numbers enough to elect him. But it was. In these key states.
It was.
It definitely was. And so he's president as a result of these people. And if you watched his speech last night, he spoke to what he has plans to do to help our African American communities that have been ignored for so long.
Right. If he can do that, if he can show that he'll take that power and do so much good with it, and the Obamacare thing, or as I like to say, Obamacare thing, has to be dealt with because
it will be.
We are in the middle of crisis of not being able to get care because the premiums or the deductibles way too high.
Well, the one reason why that is true is because in Obamacare, it puts such strict regulations on the insurance companies that they can't do anything but go up on the prices because of the regulations that Obamacare puts on them. So what the Republicans are going to do is to do away with those regulations and allow the insurance companies to structure policies that will be affordable. Maybe it won't cover as many things, but you have what we call devastating expenses, and you can buy a policy that just covers
the catastrophic.
Catastrophic.
Yeah.
But Obamacare doesn't allow that. See.
Right.
So that's one improvement we can make.
Well, if they keep the existing, they keep the thing that helps everybody, but that you cut the cost in the way that, like he's saying, he wants to do it, where it's a competitive thing, and make the insurance companies,
allow them to sell policies.
Yeah, and to go across lines, state lines, and all. So it's exciting to see that, but it better come quick because my daughter has Obamacare, and she cannot afford what they're asking monthly, and she can't afford to go to the doctor because of the deductible. So it's a waste of money and time and effort on people like that, and she needed it really bad. So
as a young doctor who started practice without any Medicare, without any Medicaid or any insurance, I can tell you I took a lot of payments in eggs and a lot of different things like that.
That's great, because that's what we all see on the movies, and they go like, well, that's what
right.
I'm going to get.
Something can be done. It can be done quickly too.
Sure, and hopefully the churches can get back involved again.
Yeah.
That helped people, and that they still do. A lot of churches still do, but they've been, they don't have the incentive to do it like they did because of what the government is putting on people. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how that all pans out, and that we will have again, involvement. The states are looking to have a little more leeway, right? Don't they? They're thinking under a Trump presidency they'll have more.
I think under the Trump presidency, what they want to do is to send money back to the states and let them pick a policy that is best for their people on Medicaid, and not try to govern everything from Washington.
Yeah, because we don't have the same needs or wants as people in New York may have, and so it's really stupid for us to try and battle for that.
If there's any one thing that we learned from this election, is that people are tired of getting directions from Washington, D.C.
Amen,
and they
brother.
want to be able to make their decisions when at all possible.
Well, the the Convention of States, that movement, I really am excited to see it, and I have someone who's real involved in that. I want to have come on, because that's a very interesting thing that's going on.
There's a gentleman named Mike Perry,
right,
who's involved in that. He would be a very good guest for us.
Oh, good, because Denton Flores is someone who has gotten really excited about that.
Oh yeah, well, he would be good too.
Boy, I'd love to have both of them on. We'll try and work on that. Listen, guys, we got to go to another break. This is my last break, and so I have to say goodbye to Dr. Wally so he can walk back down to the headquarters and try and see if they've gotten out of hand in their partying. Thank you so much, Dr. Wally, for being a guest.
You're quite welcome.
I will be right.
Invite me back anytime.
Oh, I will. Okay, everybody, you're listening to the Cindy Cochran Show. I'll be right back for my last segment. Don't go away.
The Cindy Cochran Show. You ain't heard nothing yet.
Did you know there are more than 790 abused and neglected children currently in foster care in Montgomery County? Will you help make a difference? I'm Allie Stevens with Casa Child Advocates of Montgomery County. We train and support volunteers to be the voice of children in the foster care system. Kids removed from their home because of abuse and neglect, and we need volunteers just like you to advocate for these children. To learn more about becoming an advocate, please visit CasaSpeaksForKids.com. That's CasaSpeaksForKids.com.
Our community's animal shelters cannot absorb accidental litters of kittens and puppies. Approximately 80% of the animals entering our shelters will not make it out alive. Please help be a part of the solution. Please spay and neuter your pets. Many low-cost options are available. Visit TexasLitterControl.org to learn more. That's TexasLitterControl.org. And remember, real Texans don't litter. Please spay and neuter your pets.
SPCA PetSnap of Montgomery County is a 501c3 all-volunteer-based rescue and adoption organization with a no-kill policy for healthy and adoptable animals. Our goals are fourfold: to rescue and rehabilitate homeless animals, to provide a safe haven for the animals until a suitable adoption or foster care home is found or until they are reunited with their owner, to educate the public about the great need to reduce pet population, which includes the importance of having their pets spayed and neutered, and to further the cause for humane and responsible pet ownership, and to provide a low-cost spay-neuter clinic for people who are unable to afford to spay or neuter their pets otherwise. SPCA PetSnap of Montgomery County encourages you to think adoption first. You can contact us at www.spcaofmc.com.
The Cindy Cochran Show, the most opinionated talk show on radio.
And we're back on the Cindy Cochran Show. We had Dr. Wally Wilkerson, chairman of the Montgomery County Republican Party here, and commenting on the election and all that happened there and his thoughts on it, because he has been around a long time and has done a lot for his party here in this area. But so anyway, if you missed any of that, remember, you can always go to the Facebook page, or you can go to YouTube, you can go to SoundCloud, and I just can't wait till we get on TV and be able to, wave at you guys and say hello. But that's gonna be in the next couple of weeks. Richard feels like we'll be able to have that done. But just remember that 104.5 and 106.1 are the two stations FM that we are on in this area. So that if you're listening to us on the computer right now, you can get up and you can move outside and get in your car and keep listening. So, and if you miss us, you're always here globally, so you can hear us anywhere you want to. You can get the app. I got to get that app on my phone. I just, I go to YouTube and I listen to past shows, Richard, but I got to get that app to hear it. If I wanted to hear it live on my phone, I got to learn how to do that. There's a lot of things that someone of my age goes, wait a minute, what? Another thing, another app. I'm so sick of the apps and trying to make all that happen. But boy, Richard has us on every outlet that you can imagine so that you can hear all the programming, all the shows. And it's so fun to listen to the show on the way in. And I'm taking the kids to school and listen to the show and hear Richard come on and do the weather and traffic. And I want to let you know, Richard, that Samuel, I was taking him to school and your voice came on the radio and he went, that's really Richard. He'd just been listening to KRBE, and then we switch over just a few clicks down, and there you are. And he's going, that's really Richard. Man, that's so cool. So I wanted to let you know you were very impressive. So it was great. But guys, remember, again, let me tell you that tomorrow, do not miss tomorrow, because Bob Smiley, who is internationally known as a great Christian comedian, has so many different outlooks on things that when you'd give him any kind of subject matter, he will be able to take that subject matter and twist it around to make it funny. And now, everybody's talked about, they look at this election and they go like, this is the weirdest, the strangest thing. It's never been done before. We're writing history right now because there's never been an election like this one. So everybody has their thoughts on it, and some people are depressed by it, some people are impressed by it, they're excited about it and all that. So it's okay. I mean, it's all going to calm down. Everything's going to calm down, and we'll get our lives back to normal, and there'll be more time to think about other things and good things and nice things. But everybody's been under a cloud. Doctors have even talked about a cloud that people have been under, depression and all that. So we're going to bring Bob Smiley in and to break that all away and find the funny side of all this. Okay, guys, you are listening to the Cindy Cochran Show. I'll be back tomorrow. We are here always Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11, and we'll have Bob Smiley tomorrow. So remember, Cindy Cochran Show, real reality radio.
Thanks for checking out this production of Lone Star Community Radio, Montgomery County's community radio station. For more information on this show and other shows on Lone Star Community Radio, check us out online at irlonestar.com. If you're interested in sponsoring a program on Lone Star Community Radio and reaching the local audience of Montgomery County on FM, internet, TV, media, please call 936-647-5747 or contact us online at irlonestar.com. This recording is a Lone Star Community Radio production produced by the show host and Dick Schissler of Lone Star Community Radio. Interested in volunteering as a music DJ or starting your own talk show? Contact Dick Schissler at dick@irlonestar.com or by phone at 936-647-5747.